Homemade bacon recipe. It's so worth making your own bacon at home, and it's so much better than the store-bought bacon. Picked up 20 pounds of pork belly from Costco Business, approximately $4.50 Canadian per pound, or around $3.25 US dollars per pound. I used my brand new Japanese knife to cut through the pork belly like butter and put them into 2-gallon Ziploc bags. Each piece is approximately 3.4 pounds each. Quarter cup salt, half a teaspoon of curing salt, and 1/3 cup maple syrup. This works out to be approximately 6% salt and 0.8% curing salts, relative to the pork belly in grams. Put on a glove and mix it all up. Make sure it gets everywhere on both sides before you close the Ziploc bag. I know some people like mixing the salt and maple syrup separately and then put it on a tray and spread it all over, but I like doing it inside the Ziploc bag so I don't waste any salt or maple syrup. I load it up into a plastic drawer before putting it in the fridge, so that way if there is any leakage, it will get picked up in this container. No big deal. I put it into the fridge for 6 days, and that salt pulls out the liquid from the bacon. Once a day, I turn each package over. This is so that the salt mixture gets all over the place and extracts the water equally. And you put it back into the fridge. After 6 days, I pull it out of the fridge, and I've actually extracted approximately 12% of liquid out of the bacon. I put in approximately 6% in terms of weight of salt and 0.8% of curing salts. The minimum is required is 2.5% and 0.25% of curing salt. So I am on the saltier side. And so that's why I'm washing it off aggressively. I got to get quite a bit of that curing salt and salt off. Otherwise, it'll be too salty. After thoroughly washing the pork bellies, I put it onto a drying rack. And then I put it into the fridge for 1 day. Drying the pork bellies over 1 day, it just allows the smoke to stick to the surface more readily. Beautiful fall day and a perfect day for barbecue. I go over to my buddy's house, bring over my equipment, the bacon, and everything's ready to go to smoke. Time to cut some wood. I don't know why, but cutting wood is pretty therapeutic. I love doing it. Got some hickory wood that I need to chop up into smaller pieces. I get my wood from my supplier who, has food grade wood, so there's no chemicals sprayed on it, and he's dried it over time. And dried wood allows for a very clean, tasty smoke, which is really key for a good smoke. All right, we're ready to go to start the fire. I first start out by putting some smaller pieces of wood that catch fire a lot easier. I put on some bigger pieces of hickory in there as well. I've got some pine tree slivers which have been dipped in wax. They're natural and organic, and they really do help the fire catch on. I use a blowtorch. Of course, you can use any lighter you've got lying around the house. I love my barbecue fan. It really speeds up the process. We're getting tons of air in and around the wood, so it catches quicker. I really need to get all of this wood on fire, burned down to coals, so I get a really good base going. I remember the first time I smoked meat and started the fire, and embarrassingly, it took me over an hour and a half to get it going. Now, now that I know what I'm doing, I'm up and running within 15 minutes or so. I want to show, the process of starting the fire because it is the most important part of smoking. It's getting a good coal base and enough coals at the bottom create enough heat and more constant heat. So, it's really important to get, quite a bit of wood burned off. I've got dedicated tongs just for my wood. These tongs don't touch any food at all. And I'm moving the wood around because I need to get all sides caught on fire and looking like charcoal. Most barbecue videos, they don't really show this part. I know it can get a bit boring, but I really want to show how hard it is to get the fire going, but yet it's the most critical part of a good smoke. All right, finally, these are looking great. The wood is burnt down. These are looking more like charcoal, and this is enough of a charcoal bed to sustain a good temperature. These are my toys to monitor the temperature of the meat and also the temperature of the barbecue. I've got signals, ThermoWorks signals, and also temp spike, which are Bluetooth connected meat thermometers. I put the first thermometer at the front in the middle. Then now I'm throwing on the pork belly onto the smoker. I'm attaching a probe to the pork belly furthest away from the fire into the corner. It is cooler back there, so it's really good to know what the temperature of the meat is back there. And now I'm probing the piece closer to the fire, but at the back as well. The temperature between the front and the back actually differs, so it's really good to get good coverage there and know where your temperatures are at. All right, I'm using my temp spike Bluetooth wireless meat thermometers, putting it into the remaining pieces. It I get a good feel for every single piece, almost every single piece. Like what's the temperature like inside, but also on the temp spike. The other side of the temp spike also gives me a reading of what's the temperature just outside the meat. After the first hour or so, the pork bellies are looking good. It's taking on some good color from all that smoke. When you put a fresh piece of wood on there, it's dirty smoke. You can see it's dark and gray. It's okay for a couple seconds, but you really want to get this cleaner smoke, so it looks more. The smoke looks more translucent. I try to maintain a temperature of approximately 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Anytime it starts to drop to 240, I throw in another piece of fresh wood on there to catch fire and maintain that temperature. If I am struggling to keep the temperature up, then I will actually throw on two pieces just to get that coal base going again. Checking out my signals and the thermometer on the top of the barbecue, I'm good at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The pork bellies are looking pretty good. The internal temperature is about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And my target is 150 degrees Fahrenheit to about 155 degrees Fahrenheit. After 4 hours, that smoke flavor is looking great. Use my thermopen and it's hitting the right temperatures and they're ready to go. Oh my God, look at that bacon. It looks so amazing. And I love slicing off a thick piece of bacon. You get to decide if you want it thin or thick. If you do want that crispy bacon, then yeah, you can definitely slice it really thin to get that crispiness. But with the thick cut bacon, you don't get that same level of crispiness. Got overall 6 slabs of the most amazing bacon ever. All right, let's fry off some bacon. I've got a lot of excess bacon grease in there because this is the third batch that I was making. So I normally don't have oil in the pan before I put my bacon. If you notice, the bacon actually didn't shrink as much as you normally see from the store-bought bacon. The store-bought bacon, they inject it with water, and so when you cook it, the bacon starts to shrink. Now, I don't think that's right. Like, if I'm paying for bacon, I want to pay for just the meat. I don't want to pay for water weight, which is what happens with these packaged bacon from the grocery store. Bacon's looking pretty good. A little bit of the crispiness on the outside. But of course, with the thick cuts, you're not going to get the same crispiness that most people like. But I love this thick cut bacon, and with all that flavor and a little bit of the crispiness on the outside, it's just so luxurious. I've got a 1980s version of a slicer that I got from a friend's family. Um, yes, I have to push down a button and slice each piece one at a time. I really do need to get an upgrade on this. I need to get a new slicer, but this is all I've got. So I'm using this to slice through 20 pounds of bacon. I load up the bacon into plastic pouches, and I'm using my Anova chamber vacuum sealer to seal up the bacon. I freeze the bacon, and it lasts about 6 months in the freezer. Although my bacon is so popular that it goes so quick. So yeah, it is safe after 6 months. It's just you start to get this freezer burn on the bacon, so it's not the most optimal. But yeah, definitely safe to freeze it longer than 6 months. the final product, 40 packs of the most amazing bacon ever. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video.